Leo, there are moments in this universe when language fails. Words fall short, and only a strange intuition remains. Something subtle, an odd feeling, slips between your breaths. Your heartbeat slows, not from peace, but from awareness. As if someone has just whispered your name, not with affection, but with the intent to claim you. Last night, such a whisper echoed again. But it did not come from the light. It rose from a hidden energetic layer, one very near you. That person carries a name beginning with the letter G. And they did not come to offer, they came to hold. To keep you. To block you. If you are hearing this on May 19th or May 20th, this is no longer a forecast. This is a final warning. Not everyone is meant to follow you into the next chapter of your life. Not everyone who says your name wants you to shine. Some call your name not to lift you, but to hold you back. To pull you into the past. To dim the sunlight within you, the light the entire universe is waiting for you to reignite. Baba Vanga once wrote in a rare diary entry that in the May of a year with repeating numbers, someone will use a prayer to block the path of fireborn souls. If they do not awaken, they will forget their own light. And if you are a Leo, born under the protection of the sun, then this prophecy is especially for you. Do not be afraid. Do not retreat. Open your eyes. Be aware. And keep your heart calm amidst the undercurrents. Astrology makes it clear, on May 19th and 20th this year, when the sun forms a square with Neptune, illusions can easily seep into your emotional energy field. People who were once friends, once close, may suddenly create subtle disturbances. A piece of advice that sounds kind but keeps you small. A message that seems gentle but causes you to doubt your own worth. This is not coincidence. This is a sign. The Buddha taught in the middle-length discourses that when the mind is shaken for no reason, it is not the true mind, but external illusion invading from the outside. You are experiencing energetic interference from someone whose name begins with the letter G. And this is not harmless. They may not be evil. They may not even realize what they are doing. But they have not let go. And while they haven't let go, they are unconsciously binding you in spiritual cords, even if they don't understand it. If you feel lost, delayed, or emotionally drained every time you see them, then you are living under the weight of an invisible contract. One that must be cut before you can fully enter your next cycle of prosperity. So if you've made it this far, understand that it's not by chance. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart and ask yourself, why am I hearing these words right now? Maybe the universe is not shouting. Maybe it is whispering, calling you back to the light. And if your heart just trembled, if a name just appeared in your mind, then you already know, this is your moment to choose. Choose yourself. And before we move on to the next part, where I'll reveal how to protect your energy, unlock your wealth gateway, and release these invisible karmic cords, I invite my Leo brothers and sisters to help create a wave of powerful light. Tap like if your heart just felt something true. Comment with a fire emoji if you're ready to burn away the interference. Subscribe so you never miss the universe's messages right when you need them most. And share this video with another Leo, someone who may be getting energetically manipulated without even realizing it. Because when you help another light turn on, your own light doubles. And that is the unbreakable law of both Buddhism and the universe. Now, decoding the manipulated energy of Leo, there are people who come into your life like a passing breeze. They bring warmth, a spark of joy, and then they move on. But there are also those who linger quietly, gently, and yet leave something behind. Something nameless. A strange fatigue. A disturbance you cannot describe. If you have recently felt drained without a clear reason, if you've begun to back away from the financial plans that once excited you, if every time you speak with someone, you walk away feeling conflicted or small, then it's time to listen. Because your soul already knows. And now, so do you. As if the light inside you has just been bent, then stop. That person might be G, and they are not as harmless as you think. In astrology, during the middle days of May, Leo is caught in a collision zone between two opposite energy streams. On one side is a fortunate trine from Jupiter, working to push you into powerful financial growth. On the other is the hazy influence of Neptune in harsh aspect, making you more vulnerable to emotions and soft-spoken words that, behind the surface, carry hidden resistance. This is a particularly dangerous time because Leo lives from the heart and by loyalty, and those noble traits can sometimes turn you into fertile ground for others to plant seeds of confusion without your awareness. Baba Vanga once said, "Light isn't stolen with a knife but with poisonous hugs." The person named G may have once been very close to you or may still be consistently present in your life. They've done nothing wrong. They just show up, check in, offer a suggestion, but after each encounter, you find yourself doubting yourself, hesitating, delaying, sighing. That's not coincidence. That is subtle energy manipulation, what researchers call energy drain, the draining of emotional energy. According to energy psychology, recent studies show that just a repeated stream of negative thought, especially from someone with a strong emotional bond to you, can affect your sympathetic nervous system, causing disorientation, exhaustion, and even financial instability. The most dangerous part? You don't even realize it's happening. You think you're just tired. But in truth, you're being pulled into a lower frequency where people like G are unconsciously holding you back because they fear you'll fly too far beyond their reach. That's when the moon appears in the tarot deck. This card doesn't only represent mystery, but also emotional illusions, things that seem right but actually lead you off course. When the moon shows up alongside justice, it's a powerful message: take back the balance. Stop letting others decide whether you're worthy or not. And that begins with recognizing who is sending interference into your energy field disguised as concern. The Buddha taught, not everyone who smiles at us is a friend. Not everyone who gives advice does so hoping we'll grow. Some smiles are born from jealousy. Some advice exists to keep us confined within their limits. You don't need to judge G as bad. But you must understand this: whenever your inner world feels clouded, that is a warning bell. And Leo, you were not born to be manipulated. You were born to shine. And true light never needs permission to exist. If you're still listening, give yourself a ritual-like action, a signal that you are choosing to protect your energy. Tap like if you've ever felt emotionally scrambled after interacting with someone but didn't know why. Comment the word clear or drop a candle emoji if you want to purify your frequency and cut the invisible cords that are holding you back. Share this video with another Leo or someone trapped in a confusing relationship they're not yet clear enough to walk away from. And subscribe to this channel so that whenever the universe's energy tilts, you always have a place to return, a reminder, a small flame lighting you through the dark. Remember, Leo, you don't need anyone's approval to know you are worthy. And you don't need to stay with those who make you question yourself. Self-doubt is not your flaw. It's the result of letting another energy seep too deep. Every person is a field of energy. And every presence in your life, whether love or advice, must be filtered through awareness. Observe, not to judge, but to understand who opens you up and who makes you shrink. Astrology teaches, when the sun, Leo, is dimmed by Neptune's illusions and emotional blind spots, that is the time to go within. This is not escape. It is return. You don't need to run from the world. You only need to tidy up inside. And sometimes that clearing begins with one very small act. Stop replying to the person who makes you feel bad. Stop asking for approval from someone who doesn't believe in you. Stop telling your dreams to those who have never dared to dream. And if you're still asking yourself, am I just imagining things? Then please, remember the Buddha's final teaching before he entered nirvana: return to the deepest place within yourself. All answers reside there, not in the eyes of others, not in applause, but in the stillness of an awakened heart. Leo and the prophecy of Baba Vanga. People often think Baba Vanga's predictions are just mysterious tales passed down from some distant Western land. But few know that many of her messages weren't only about global events. They were directed at specific soul groups, specific zodiac signs, during specific windows in time. One lesser-known record, carefully guarded in her final handwritten notes, contains a warning meant for those born under the energy of the sun. That is, for Leo. In a manuscript translated from Bulgarian, she wrote, "On the days when light is covered by water, the one bearing the lion symbol will hear their name being called, not by mouth, but by intention. And the one calling is not someone new. It is an old figure with a new name. If they carry the middle letter of the Great Crossing, know this: they come not to walk with you, but to imprison you." The middle letter of the crossing, that is the letter G. Not at the beginning of the alphabet, nor at the end. It sits in the center, symbolizing what is unclear, half light, half shadow, half kind, half deceptive. And if the moment you're watching this video falls on May 19th or May 20th, 2025, do not ignore that sign. Not everyone receives a prophetic nudge, but if you're feeling a tremble in your chest, then you are being awakened. Because you are Leo. And you are being called to a choice your soul once avoided in a past life, to hold on to an unhealed connection or to cut it and step into the next chapter of destiny. Astrology reveals the intersection of solar energy, Leo, and Neptune, illusion, on May 19th to 20th creates a zone of energetic interference. This is when those who once played key roles in your spiritual journey, in this life or another, may return. Not through obvious actions, but through a memory, a glance, a message, a sentence that hits your softest spot. And if that person has a name beginning with G, chances are, they're the very one Baba Vanga was referring to. The danger isn't that they are evil. The danger is that you still keep the door open. In Buddhism, this is called unfinished karma. The Buddha taught, connections that disturb the mind, no matter how deep the love once was, must be released. For if not, both souls will continue spinning in the wheel of rebirth, pain, and regret. Dear Leo, have you recently found yourself remembering people from the past, things you thought were long closed? A gaze appearing in your dream? An old phrase echoing in the night? A moment when you ask yourself, do they think of me? That is no accident. That is the old wave of energy trying to creep into the new light you're building. And more often than not, that energy comes from someone with an unresolved frequency of memory. If you pay close attention, you'll notice, after thinking about G, you are no longer yourself. You doubt your financial decisions. You hesitate in your investment plans. You shrink, as if you're trying to fit back into an old version of yourself. And that is the signature of lingering karmic entanglement. Tarot reveals two powerful cards, Judgment and the Empress. Judgment reminds you this is the moment of reckoning, between the past and the future. You must choose. The Empress is gentler, but no less deep. She tells you, you are the embodiment of nurturing, beauty, and creation. But to plant new seeds, you must clear the old soil. And you know that's true. So if you're still holding on to a keepsake, an unsent message, or an old song tied to someone named G, see this as a ceremonial moment. You don't need to hate. You just need to breathe. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I release, not out of anger, but because I choose to live forward. If you're still here, and something has stirred in your soul, I invite you to join this sacred act with thousands of other Leo souls listening, just like you. Tap like if you've ever had a bond that was hard to break, but deep down, you knew it no longer belonged in your path. Comment, I choose the new light, or drop a moon emoji to declare that you're ready to step out of old energies. Share this video with someone you know who's still entangled in a past they're not ready to let go of. And subscribe, so you never miss a message from the universe, exactly when you need it most, when your path needs the most light. And remember, Leo, you don't need to cling to anyone to prove your worth. Those who truly love your light will never try to dim it. Buddhism and how to detect toxic energy. In Buddhism, there is a concept that is both vital and rarely understood, evil intentions arising from a seemingly pure appearance. Not every smile is compassion. Not every, are you okay, comes from kindness. Some concerns are wrapped in soft words, but underneath lies the dust of ego, control, and unresolved envy. The Buddha taught in the Samyukta Agama Sutra, one who has not seen clearly their own mind will easily be drawn into the mind of another, without realizing it. And Leo, with your loyal heart and loving nature, you are the fertile ground most vulnerable to being seeded with impure vibrations. Lately, have you felt like there's a fog clouding your mind? A sense of hesitation, restlessness, or delay in decisions you were once sure about, for no clear reason? A look from someone makes you doubt yourself. A phrase like, you should be careful, instantly turns off the drive you were building. That's not caution. That's energetic disruption. And it often comes from people you'd never suspect, because they're so familiar. Maybe friends, past lovers, or even family. And this time, that soul carries a name that begins with G. Astrology calls this phenomenon a reversed resonance connection, when two energy fields that once harmonized now operate on different frequencies, yet one side resists the transformation. As Leo begins expanding into light, wealth, career, and inner freedom, those still stuck in the old cycle feel uneasy. Not because they're bad, but because your growth unintentionally casts light on their shadows. And their unconscious reaction is to hold you back, pull you in, or send signals that make you doubt your path. In Buddhist teachings, this is called contaminated consciousness, exchanged consciousness. When your mind isn't rooted in mindfulness, you easily absorb the frequency of others without realizing it. A jealous person doesn't need to curse you. Just thinking of you with envy, little by little, each day, that thought stream still seeps into your energetic field like drops of water flooding a still pond. And you don't notice, because it's slow, subtle, and familiar. But you will see the effects in your behavior. You no longer feel inspired to invest. You postpone business meetings. You lose faith in your own talents. You shrink inward, though outwardly you still smile. That is the classic symptom of spiritual contamination. The tarot card, the moon, appears once again, like a wake-up bell. The moon is beautiful, but it also symbolizes illusion, distorted perception, and dreams formed by an impure mind. When this card is paired with justice, that is spiritual justice. The message is clear. Leo, it's time to discern between true light and emotional light dressed in affection. And the only way to recognize it is to return to the sensations within your own body. You don't need to name anyone. You just need to listen to your body. If, after every conversation with someone, your energy drops, your mind feels cloudy, your chest heavy, and your intuition blurred, then you don't need proof. Your body is the proof. Because where mindfulness exists, disturbance cannot. And if you are here, still reading to this line, please pause for 1 minute. Close your eyes and answer this question with your breath. Who is pulling me the farthest away from myself? The first name that appears in your awareness is usually the right one. Don't rush to judge them, but start purifying the energetic connection. The Buddha taught, do not walk with those who are not on your path. Do not stay with those who do not share your karma. If your heart feels compressed near someone, walk away quietly. Not because they are bad, but because it's your time to grow. And here's how you can protect your energy during May 19th to 20th, when astrology warns that illusion and envy will reach their peak. Each morning, light a white incense stick, or, if unavailable, a small candle. Gaze into the flame and silently say, I cut the karmic ties with those who disturb my mind. I do not resent, but I choose liberation. Then write down the name of the person who makes you feel small. Fold it and burn it along with the candle. When the ashes fade, take a deep breath and speak, I return to my own light. If you are doing this ritual, or simply feel something has stirred deep in your heart, tap like as a way of affirming your alignment with yourself. Comment, I return, or use to declare that you are stepping out of the influence of G, or anyone who has been dimming your light. Share this video with someone you know who's tangled in an unclear relationship. And hit subscribe, not just to follow, but as a commitment to yourself. Each day, I will listen to the voice of my own light. I will no longer let others' thoughts shape my destiny. Because Leo, you are the sun. And the sun never needs anyone to confirm it's shining. It just dares to shine. Leo and the gate of rebirth. After all the long nights, the vague conversations with unfinished memories, the times you silently walked away from your own dreams because of someone else's words, this moment is where all layers of energy begin to reshape. Leo, you have wandered deep into the labyrinth of old emotions, seen the true face of relationships disguised as love, learned to name the chaos not as your fault but as the echo of invisible strings manipulating you. And now, with everything illuminated by the light of mindfulness, the gate of rebirth begins to open, not with a loud explosion, but with a silence deep, so very deep. In astrology, on May 19th and 20th, the sun, the guardian deity of Leo, passes through a phase of alternate awakening, with Jupiter and Uranus forming a mystical trine where fated decisions are handed down. But only those who have released old energies will hear the call. That means, if you're still being held back by someone named G, or by any unclear connection, the door ahead will remain closed, not because you're unworthy, but because your frequency isn't clean enough to match the new destiny codes. In tarot, this is the time when the Ace of Pentacles appears, the card of financial seed, a new foundation, a sustainable opportunity. But it only reveals itself after death, deep transformation received without resistance. Meaning, only when you dare to step out of the shadows of doubt, emotional entanglements, and the habit of enduring to keep peace, will you finally lay your hand on the golden door waiting ahead. The Buddha once taught, there is no rebirth without release. No light if the mind still clings. The one who can move forward is the one who dares to leave their old shadow behind. Do you still see the image of G in your dreams? Do you still hold your phone, hesitating to type that message of refusal? Do you still find yourself faltering when you say, I'm doing this for me, just because of someone's gaze? If so, don't blame yourself. Just know you're standing at the threshold, 1 foot in the light, 1 foot in the fog, and all you need is 1 step. Just one, to step into the other side of yourself, where the Real Leo begins a new life. I invite you to do a small ritual, very simple, yet incredibly powerful. This is the ritual of rebirth. On the nights of May 19th and May 20th, light a white candle and place it in front of a mirror. Sit facing the flame. Look into your own eyes in the mirror and silently say, I am no longer who others want me to be. I am myself, without permission, without hiding, without shrinking. Then, write down one specific action you've been delaying because someone made you doubt. And within 24 hours, do it. Not to prove anything, but because you've returned. If you are doing this ritual, or simply feel something awakening inside you, let that sign take form. Tap like as an affirmation to the universe that you have heard the call. Comment, I step into the new gate, or drop a symbol to align with the thousands of Leo souls awakening alongside you. Share this video with someone you love as a way of passing on the light you've just received. And if you want to continue being guided every time your energy wavers, hit subscribe, not to follow, but because you deserve to walk with the messages that keep you steady on this grand journey. Let me say this, not in words, but in a deeper layer of emotion, Leo, you do not need anyone's approval to be reborn. You only need your own. And the moment you give yourself that, you're not just starting a new chapter, you are renewing the soul contract the universe wrote for you before you entered this lifetime. Wealth will begin to flow not because you chased money, but because you stopped letting distorted energy block its path. Love will arrive not because you craved someone to rescue you, but because you became a safe haven for your own heart. And the light in your eyes, the light once dimmed by advice, half-hearted relationships, and false faces, will now blaze again. No one can touch it unless you allow them. And I want to end this peak moment with one image, a golden door, carved with the Leo symbol, opening before you. But it doesn't open with hands. It opens with a decision. A decision to stop being the old version of yourself. A decision to release the hand that no longer holds you with real love. A decision to shine without asking for permission. Are you ready? If you are, take a deep breath. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, I no longer ask for permission. I choose the light. And then, if you've walked with me this far, not just with your eyes but with your heart, know this, you are no longer in the same place. Your mind has stepped through a doorway, a threshold so thin only souls brave enough can cross. Where light doesn't come from applause, but from the deep stillness of one who has seen themselves clearly. Leo, you've paused. You've listened. And now, it's time to rise, not to defeat anyone, but to return to your true destiny. In astrology, the days of May 19th and May 20th mark a rare phenomenon, when your sun, the symbol of ego and personal light, forms a trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Uranus, the planet of liberation and breakthrough. This connection isn't physical. It strikes your energy field directly, pulling you out of the darkness of self-doubt and shrinking patterns, and hurling you into the light, where everything becomes possible. But like any sacred gate, it won't open if you're still carrying remnants. Still holding on to someone named G. Still hesitating with old wounds. Still clinging to a broken promise. The universe doesn't blame you, but it also doesn't step back just because you're not ready. Everything is waiting, but it won't wait forever. Baba Vanga left behind a hidden prophecy in her final notebook. The one who carries fire will see their shadow tremble when someone whispers their name at night. But if they stand firm, all gates will open, even the enemies. And if you're Leo, you are the one who carries fire. You were not born to live small. You were created to make darkness step aside. Maybe you've been drained. Maybe you've lost some trust. But you have never lost your light. It has only been sleeping, waiting for the moment you decide, I no longer live to please. I live to honor the light within me. The Buddha said, the light is not outside. It resides in the heart of the one who dares to let go. And letting go, Leo, isn't escape. It's an act of fierce strength, releasing those who no longer walk beside you, releasing emotions that no longer nourish you, releasing the old version of you that you've outgrown but still cling to because you fear being alone. Face the truth. The one who hurt you may not be bad. But they are no longer aligned. And you cannot carry someone who isn't ready into a journey that was written for you lifetimes ago. You can't keep shrinking so others don't feel small. So here is the invitation, stand up, reignite the fire, and walk. Because behind this door is everything you once prayed for, financial growth, soul-deep connections, and someone who understands your light without trying to dim it. Perform this simple but powerful ritual on the night of May 19th or 20th, when solar energy is at its brightest. Light a white candle, or yellow, if you have one, as a symbol of pure soul light. Place your right hand on your heart, your left on your lower belly, your root energy center. Close your eyes and whisper, I cut every tangled cord. I return them to their own path. And I choose my own light, without permission, without guilt. After the ritual, write down one thing you commit to doing for yourself, a dream, a plan, a beginning, and do it within 7 days. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just true. If you perform this ritual, or even if you simply feel a surge of energy awakening inside you, let it be confirmed by action. Tap like if your heart just rang like a bell of agreement. Comment, "I choose the light," or leave to join the wave of thousands of awakening Leos. Share this video with someone you know who's living in energetic chaos. They need a reminder. And don't forget to hit subscribe, to keep walking with me, so that whenever your energy wavers, there's always a candle waiting for you to return. Leo, you are a symphony that needs no audience. You are a sun that doesn't shine on command. You are a story rewriting your own destiny. And from now on, no one else writes your chapters. Tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and ask yourself, if I had no fear, what would I choose? If I were no longer confused, how would I live? Then write it down, because the moment you write, the universe reads. And when the universe reads, everything begins to change.